Hello, sports lovers. It's time for another exciting episode for Sports Bus Stop. This is our first installment for the month of May 2026. So, happy new month. And also, we want to say thank you for sticking through with us from the month of April 2026. Thank you for your likes, the comments, the shares, and for subscribing to our channel. And we do hope that you will stick through with us in the month of May. My name is Nengi Enes Ademola, but you can call me the Sports Amazon. And sitting right next to me is none other than Lisa, the Sports Talkative.
Hi! Hi, guys!
Lisa, don't be so, not all these content creators. Hi, guys!
Yeah, like, hi, guys!
Lisa, happy new month, and how are you doing?
Same to you, and I'm fine. Welcome to the month of May.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because the month of May is the month where miracles are going to be happening in the world of football, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Okay. And we are sat. We are here for it. Honestly, we are here for it. And of course, that's why it's Sports Bus Stop podcast. So, we have 3 points of discussion today.
Yes.
We'll talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the African qualifiers for the Los Angeles Olympics 2028. We'll also talk about the D-Tigress of Nigeria. Remember that this year, they will be participating in the FIBA Basketball Women's World Cup. So the draws are also out. And then the UEFA Champions League semi-finals first leg. Lots of talking points from that. So I think we're going to start from the UEFA Champions League. You know, football is what makes some people, go jiggy.
Yeah.
So Lisa, let's talk about the game. We'll start from the one that some people refer to as a very boring watch. That's the game between Atletico Madrid and Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yes, let's start from that one. Now, if you check that game, the 2 goals came from penalties. And then there was supposed to be another penalty that it would have been 3 penalties. And for the first time in a Champions League knockout phase since 2001, 100% of goals came from penalties. What's your take on that game?
Okay. First of all, I mean, the first penalty that for Arsenal was Vitor Gyökeres. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, yes, this is a clear-cut penalty.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
He was pushed.
The push was really...
was obvious.
Yeah. Wow. But the second penalty that Alvarez took, I was like, wait a minute.
That was... I think the handball
but actually, my question was this: when that handball happened, my first question was, Ben White, what were you doing there? Like, that could have been an avoidable situation.
But do you think that there are inconsistencies when it comes to, penalty decisions like this with the English Premier League and the UEFA Champions League? Because the way I saw that ball, of course, it deflected from his leg
to his
Ben
hand.
White's leg to his hand.
Yes.
So I was thinking, probably the referee would have said, okay, it might not be, because if it is in the Premier League, I'm thinking it might not be, probably.
Premier?
Yeah.
That's a penalty in the Premier League. What do you mean if it was in the Premier League? It might not be. But the thing is...
But I just feel like there are those little differences when it comes to some decisions.
Yeah, but there are little differences. Even when the ball deflected from his leg, right, he could have been able to...
hide his hand
so that the ball would... pass through, but that was a very terrible mistake on the part of Ben White. Because when that ball, there's a way you play especially when somebody played like a corner or a straight ball to you. I've seen players when they deflect balls, their hands are behind them and they are like, so that they don't want to have that, especially when they are in the 18 box yard. I mean, they don't want to make the mistake of, conceding a penalty and then, going 1 goal down or something. So that was a terrible mistake for Ben White. But then again, a penalty is a penalty.
It is.
I mean,
it is
1-1 penalty, Arsenal penalty, Atletico Madrid. And, I was telling you before we came on the show that probably this is a replay of their showdown in the Europa edition in 2017-2018 season. Because when they first met in the first leg, it was a 1-1 draw as well. And the second leg, everybody knows that the second leg was a 1-0 win for Atletico Madrid. So let's just hope that it doesn't happen that way before. But then again, I expected Arsenal to score more goals because they had lots of chances.
Yes.
Gyökeres created more chances. There were chances where the defense were wide open. The Atletico Madrid defense was very wide open, and Arsenal did not utilize that.
Chances from, what's his name now, Madueke?
Yes, Noni Madueke and some other players too. I mean, Arsenal was trying to play the low kind of ball. I mean, this is a competition where everybody is having a crucial moment. This is a crucial moment in the UEFA Champions League where it is either you win or you go home. And I was expecting the likes of Arsenal to give it their all.
But haven't they tried? I mean, look at it.
No, they've come a long way. Yeah. From the beginning rounds, from the group stages down to the knockout stages, down to the quarterfinals, and now they are in the semis. It's a good one for Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal has come this far, back to back, and it's wonderful for them. And I just hope that they might just advance down to the finals again. But then again, I am hoping that Ademola Lookman.
Talking about Ademola Lookman,
yeah,
you missed out on some chances yesterday.
No, both sides missed out on a lot of chances. I expected both sides to employ the use of long balls and long passes, and it didn't happen because there were no long shots. There were no decisive long shots, even though it hit the bar or it. I mean, there were not many on target shots that were taken neither by Atletico Madrid or Arsenal because this was a time where all of them had, you know what, give everybody a run for their money, but they were just trying to play the low, like what I said, the ground buster and trying to pack the balls, protecting the one goal.
Yeah.
Yes, the one goal. When Arsenal scored that one goal, they went into defensive mode. They needed to have been very offensive because they were trying to protect, you know what, we've scored a goal, let's protect it. This can help us. No, you have to be very offensive. And they didn't give Atletico Madrid a pushback. Also, Atletico Madrid did not give pushback. In fact, Atletico Madrid were more, I don't know if they were afraid or more relaxed. I mean, the game was just... it was just there.
But let's talk about the third penalty that was...
Eze Berechi, and that third penalty, right?
It caused, an uproar. According to Mikel Arteta, he said he was very upset with the decision of the referee. At first, the referee gave, a penalty, but then when it looks closely, VAR, I mean, it was overturned that it wasn't a foul. But I am trying to look at that penalty. If you look at it from one angle,
it looks like really a very clear-cut penalty.
Yes, it
looks like a very clear on Eze Berechi.
And then you look at another angle. You just feel like it was not too intentional and that force was not really there. You know that when somebody intentionally does something, to you, that force was not really there. They were both, just going for the ball. What's his name now? Is it David Hanko now? He was going for the ball.
Eze Berechi at the same time was also going for the ball at the same time. But the thing is, this is where VAR come in. Because normally, when that happened initially, you saw the referee giving a straight penalty and like, you know what, this is a penalty. And players were trying to contest. And I guess the referees in the VAR room were like, you know what, let's take a look at it again. And when I saw the back-to-back replay, first of all, it wasn't intentional. Number two, we know sometimes penalties are not intentional, like the very first penalty that was awarded to Atletico Madrid. It wasn't intentional on the part of Ben White. But if you look at this penalty, the player, Eze Berechi, was not the target, number one. The football was the target. And there was not much force applied when it comes because Eze Berechi put himself in that situation. I mean, he threw his leg forward and the player threw his own leg forward and
the player went for the ball first.
Yes. And Eze Berechi at the same time kicked the ball, like the ball rolled past and their legs met. And it was even the side, not the front. Yes. If it was very much the front, it would have been a clear-cut penalty. I mean, the side of the boot, I know it can be painful sometimes, but that's, for me, in my own opinion, that was not a penalty or a foul. I mean, it happens most times.
And then let's talk about the game before the Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal game. A game that a lot of people have referred to as basketball or tennis. Or tennis scoreline, because it was, in fact, I know the likes of Thierry Henry, the likes of, is it Jamie Carragher now?
Yeah.
They were like, they've been complaining about football becoming boring, but they saw real good football. In that game between PSG and
Bayern Munich. First of all, kudos to Luis Enrique on one side. Kudos to Vincent Kompany
on the other
side, because they gave us what we call football masterclass. Come on. See, where you think you have seen it all, boom, it just happened. Yeah. I mean, first of all, I'd like to applaud PSG for Kavicha. I cannot pronounce the other name because the other name is very long. Man, I'll go bite my tongue.
We'll learn for you now.
But Kavicha was one key factor in the PSG side. The likes of Kavicha, Nuno Mendes. I mean, Nuno Mendes gave pace for pace. The way Luis Diaz run on the Bayern Munich side.
I told you that boy,
Nuno Mendes did most of the coverings on the sides of both wings. I remember when a ball was passed to him and there was a way he pushed the ball forward and he ran after the ball. And he had to be countered by two. It took 3 Bayern Munich players to mark him so that he will not get that ball into their 18-yard box. Then again, there were penalties too. In the game.
Yes.
There were penalties in the game too. But apart from the penalties, we saw thrillers of long shots, long pass. Everybody, see, when this one play, this one go answer.
There was movement.
As the movement everywhere, you will see Olise. Before you blink at Olise is running somewhere. Before you say, wait till they happen.
In the middle.
The guy was there. Before you blink, Upper Meccano is doing something. I mean, that was a breathtaking performance. I mean, a 9-goal thriller game. First of all, people will bet their mind no go. One guy in my area, when he was, I heard him from inside the house because I was just wondering about it. He said, buy and cut my tickets.
Some people do not expect.
See, I burst into laughter. I said, what? Buy and cut your ticket? Like, wow. I don't understand. Why? He said, I go do on that 2.5. I say, no, now in a game like this, when it's PSG Bayern meeting, you have to have your hopes very high because Luis Enrique is somebody that is trying to. They are defending champions right now, and they will not want to bow out in shame. I mean, during the press conference, Luis Enrique made a statement when he was asked about some players that he let go, and he was talking about Kylian Mbappe, and he said that many people thought that he made a bad decision when he sold Mbappe to Real Madrid, but now a lot of people are saying that was a very the team is better without Mbappe. So if I read that, like Mbappe go your hand for finger, go your put finger for mat now say, hey, see PSG when I leave in less than 2 seasons, see what that they do. So I'm like, and when he made that statement, I'm like, okay, I think I see a point in what he did there. I mean, he saw the likes of Mbappe, Lionel Messi had to go, the likes of Sergio Ramos, they were in PSG at a point, and he let many of those players leave PSG, and he built a team. And even in the post-match conference, he said something. He said, we all deserved to lose, we all deserved to win, we all deserved to draw. In all, it was a good game. I mean, everybody saw what good football looked like, and it was wonderful. It was so unfortunate that Vincent Kompany did not see the match up close because he was suspended, so he had to be in the stands far away. But then again, this just shows that when you have good players, and you are a coach that can utilize their playing potential, this is what you get. So
do you agree with my rating of 8/10 for Vincent?
I'm beginning to agree.
You should agree.
No, I'm beginning to agree.
This is what happens when both teams are not holding back. When both teams have
like
play.
That was what I was expecting in the second match of Atletico Madrid and Arsenal. Give it your all die not die. Sorry. Give it your all. Like anything happen. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. But just give the audience and the fans good football. And it was beautiful football. I mean, the goals were just flying in like fireworks. I mean,
5-4.
Kavicha had 2 goals for PSG. Osman Dembele obviously scored. The likes of Harry Kane, the likes of Olise, and many of them. I mean, even see Nicholas Jackson, though. I was like, hey! See players, though.
Nicholas. Susanna. Nicholas.
I mean, but then again, it is 5 PSG, 4 for Bayern Munich. And we are looking forward to the second leg that's happening in the Allianz Arena. Yes. I told somebody, I said, see, Bayern Munich is not going to concede. They are not going to let this go. They are going to give PSG a good run for their money. I mean, PSG defended their home front, which was a wonderful one. I mean, they showed people that, you know what, you came to our home, you cannot defeat us at home. So I know that Bayern Munich is going to do something like that. But then again, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for PSG. I mean, if they can do it again and defend their champion and win it back-to-back, why not? Luis Enrique deserves it.
Let's see how that pans out to be. But you see the game between PSG and Bayern Munich. It is now the joint highest scoring semi-final game in the European Match Cup since 1960 when Rangers lost 6-3 to Eintracht Frankfurt. So, yeah, it's, I mean, for the both games, we had, you know, stats and records, you know, backing it. Yes, and that was it. We had fun time with the first leg of the UEFA Champions League semi-final phase between Atletico Madrid and Arsenal, who had a 1-1 draw. We're also looking forward to the second leg. Let's see who comes out on tops and get down to the final stages of the UEFA Champions League. And then, like Lisa has already stated, PSG won with 5 goals as against Bayern Munich, who scored 4. So we're also looking at the second leg. Now, we're done and dusted discussing the UEFA Champions League. Now, let's come back home. And we'll talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria today. Now, when it comes to the African qualifiers for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics, the draws have been held. And of course, the qualifiers will soon get underway this year. The draws were held in Cairo, Egypt. That's the headquarters of CAF. And that was on the 29th of April, 2026. And the Super Falcons of Nigeria is going to face either Comoros or Sudan. Now, Sudan and Comoros, they will play their game in the first round during the month of June. And then the Super Falcons campaign will start in the month of October 2026, between 5th to 13th. Mind you, now let me tell you this. We have 35 nations competing in these qualifiers. And guess what? It is only 2 tickets that will be picked to the LA 2028 Olympics. 2 representatives from Africa. So by 2027, November, December, when the dust has settled, that's when we know our representatives for the LA 2028 Olympics. But Lisa, I want to ask you about the pairings, about the draw concerning the Super Falcons of Nigeria. How favorable do you think this draw is to the Super Falcons? They're playing either Sudan or Comoros. Yeah.
I mean, Sudan or Comoros. Let's see who comes out of the playoffs first. But then again, either team, I feel they are a walk in the park for the Super Falcons. I mean, Super Falcons have met teams that are way stronger. First of all, I'm not saying that Sudan or Comoros are not teams that. But I don't feel
I don't even think they are
I don't
ranked
feel
yet.
yes. So
because
I don't feel
you have the Super Falcons who are first in Africa and 36th
in
globally.
the world.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that Sudan and Comoros are going to be a hard nut to crack for the Super Falcons. If it were countries like Egypt, Morocco, or Tunisia, and I would be thinking, okay, you know what, or a Zimbabwe or a Zambia, and I'm like, okay, you know what, Super Falcons need to put in the work. But then again, many of us, a lot of people were like, and when you hear June, you're like, June is too far. No, June is not far. June is just next month. I mean, June is just next month, and October is just few months after June. So I feel for the Super Falcons, the NFF need to put modalities in place to keep them ready. True. Because just believing that you can beat Sudan or Comoros with your eyes closed does not mean that you shouldn't be prepared, because when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Exactly. But for then again, whoever comes out of the playoffs will be facing Super Falcons, and I am very, 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 very positive that the Super Falcons will win. But again, 35 nations, 2 tickets.
2 tickets, yeah. Is that a fair? Is that fair for African teams?
For an entire continent. Oh,
is it fair?
For me, wait, how many continents are coming to the Olympics, first of all? I mean, it's not fair for the African countries. I mean, they need to is it that they are doing two nations per continent for the Olympics? If that's it, then okay. But then again, I think they need to increase the participating countries for the football tournaments in the Olympics. I mean, we have Algeria, we have the likes of Egypt, we have South Africa, we have Zimbabwe. So when Super Falcons come out of the qualifiers between Comoros or Sudan, when they win either of any team that they meet, they still have other teams that they have to meet. True. We have South Africa waiting in the front. We have the likes of Algeria waiting in the front, and all that. Botswana is there, and some other countries. But I am very hopeful that by 2027, which is next year,
we would have secured
one spot. And whoever secures the other spot, congratulations to them. But me, I'm talking about my own country securing a spot for the Olympics, because it's been a long time since the Super Falcons ever made it to the Olympics.
Yeah, I think in the Paris 2024 Olympics, they made their first appearance. Yeah. First time in 16 years. So we're able to make it. But then, you see that Olympics, we finished bottom of the group. We played the likes of Brazil and Spain. They defeated us 1-0 each, and then we played Japan 3-1. I remember Jennifer Echegini scoring that lone goal where Japan defeated us 3-1.
But then again, I wouldn't fault them for the 2024 Olympic abysmal performance, because I mean, 16 years before that time, and I know there were, if you remember correctly, there were many controversies in 2024 surrounding football and the preparedness of Nigeria for the Paris 2024, and that in turn affected many of the teams, athletes and players altogether. But then again, that's what I am saying. I believe the NOC, the Nigerian Olympic Commission, can put in the work this time and work hand in hand with the NFF to make sure to see that Nigeria makes another appearance in the Olympics. They get that ticket. So that's why when we are complaining about the fact that when we had the international window for the Super Falcons to play other countries, you people will understand why we are angry, why the NFF did not make use of that window, because we are not just talking about the World Cup or the AFCON. We have the Olympics, and there are other tournaments ahead even before the Olympics, and the Super Falcons need to be ready. But then again, another window is coming. And I hope that the NFF would put in the work this time and get teams. Even the CM. Another thing is let's take a niche from the Tigers. They are not even playing countries. They are playing clubs. Why not do that same thing for the Super Falcons? Get good female clubs that the Super Falcons can play. International clubs. And because it will help them know their weaknesses, know their strength, know where to work on and everything. But then again, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Whoever comes out of Sudan, Comoros, I believe that it's going to be a walk in the park, but then again, Super Falcons need to be ready.
Exactly. They definitely need to be ready. And we're wishing them all the best when it's time, of course. Trust us to give you updates as it concerns the African qualifiers for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics. And finally, before we call it a wrap on this episode of Sports Bus Stop, our first for the month of May 2026, let's talk about the D Tigress. Lisa already mentioned the D Tigress of Nigeria. And let's quickly talk about the draws. Now, the D Tigress of Nigeria, they have been grouped. They have been put in Group B that has powerhouses like France, Korea, South Korea, and then Hungary. And that's for the FIBA Basketball Women's World Cup that is coming up this year. And to be honest with you, like she said, maybe the NFF should take a cue from what is going on with the D-Tigress, because currently they are playing friendlies with WNBA teams.
Exactly.
They played one against Los Angeles Sparks, who are 3 times WNBA champions. They played that game and they lost by a very big margin.
Very
and
big,
then the
actually.
second one, they played Minnesota Lynx, who are 4 times WNBA champions also, and they lost. But I think that was a bit closer. I think it was 88-79.
Yeah, 88-79.
But then again, I know that Coach Rena Wakama is not currently around because of her duty with Chicago Sky, a WNBA team also. But then the assistant coach, who is Wani Mugaguzi, he is around on the sideline with the girls. But this would give them ample time, of course, to prepare, because this time around they are going to a world stage. But what do you think? Do you think that any of these teams would pose a threat to us when it comes to the FIBA World Cup, the main? Do you think there's any team out of France, Hungary, and South Korea?
Nigeria played France in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers.
Yes.
And
also South Korea.
Yeah, yes. And we all saw how that game panned out. I mean, it was a killing closed margin. And I believe Rena Wakama must have learned a lot from those 2 meetups, because, I mean, I feel it's like a streak of luck or something, timeliness or convenience that 2 of the teams that we met in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers are in our group. So we already know their style of play. We already know how they position. We already know their weaknesses and their strengths. And I feel, and I believe that Rena Wakama and the coaching staff and the technical crew are going to bank on that, because they've met this team before.
That was in March, when they played.
Yeah, so they've met these teams before, and they know exactly what to do. They know their mistakes, what the D-Tigress, the mistakes that led to their losses with this team. South Korea is one team that Nigeria should be very keen about.
They are very experienced.
They are experienced.
World Cup appearances.
Because I saw comments where some people saying online that all these people will not get height. It's not about height. Sorry, but I felt it's not about height, it's about experience, like what you just said, because South Korea is one thing that they explore experience. I saw that game between Nigeria and South Korea, and I saw how they utilized the fact that they were not as tall as our players, and yet they did wonders in the court of play. And so Nigeria need to they need to go back to the drawing board, and they need to tell themselves, these teams, France are the host country, so I feel France is not going to give Nigeria any breathing space. Also, we are not going to give them any breathing space. I hope so. As for Hungary, there's that one country and that one team that you are like, are they like this or are they like this? Yeah. So we've not met before. And so Hungary is that unpredictable element right now in the draws, in our group stage right now. And I think Nigeria need to come into with that unpredictable element, because Hungary too will be thinking, you know what, we don't know how Nigeria really is. Yes,
but they would watch their games.
It's one thing to watch games and have clips of, analyze from clips. It's another ball game to meet them personally and physically one-on-one on the court, and you're having a whole different experience. So I feel Rena Wakama needs to put in more work. The coaching staff, kudos to the friendlies they've been playing in the US tours. I mean, it's giving them a wealth of experience. They know what to do now. They know what not to do. I mean, playing against the Minnesota Lynx and the LA Sparks is something that would live with them forever, even though many of them are also, actually. Yes, because I mean, if you even look at the score margin with the LA Sparks, we said it's a very big margin, but then again, if you calculate it, wasn't really that much of a big margin. I mean, the D Tigers gave in their all and they fought for it, and it has earned them respect. So I feel just the same way Nigeria is looking into these other countries in the play, they are also looking into us. I mean, so I believe if there's a chance to introduce new elements and new tactics that will work, and new players too, it's okay for Nigeria.
There are a whole lot of new players as it concerns the Tigers now. And according to Coach Rena Wakama, she says the future is bright. And of course, like Lisa has already stated, I think Hungary would be that team that will be a completely new challenge for us in the FIBA Women's World Cup. And I remember the first time that we debuted, it was in 2006. I think we finished around 16 or so in terms of placing. And then we came back 2018. We finished, in terms of placing, we finished about 8th position. That was like a progress from our debut. 2022, we didn't play because of some administrative issues. We were replaced with Mali and the likes. And then right now we have another chance. So by the time we get into the World Cup stage, it will be our 3rd appearance for the D Tigers of Nigeria. And of course, we're wishing them all the very best. And it is a wrap for this episode of Sports Bus Stop. Do not forget, like I said earlier on, please walk with us in this month of May. We need you to like, we need you to share this video. We need you to also drop your comments. If you have an opinion concerning what we have discussed, please drop it in the comment section. We would definitely love to read it, definitely love to improve where you want us to improve, and we'll just keep, making progress. My name still remains Nengi Ernest Ajemola. Do have a lovely weekend for yourself.
And I am Lisa, your sports talkative. Bye, guys.